In lieu of the fact we can't do a musical show tonight because of the cops, I'm going to read some of the things from the book. So you see how we go. Having said all that, the first three things are not from the book. They're from the prehistoric days of the Shadow Ring, and this box set has just come out. And the first one is a nasty little piece called Scratches, which was up there on the wall behind you. I'll take this off. Scratches. We let you into his life. He lives in a damp room under the stairs, making weird noises and eating mouldy sandwiches. He leaves strange messages for you on bits of paper over the house. Long scrawls and scratches telling secret information, archaic engravings and marks on the door. He's paying no rent, yet he's getting the best of what we can afford. The cat won't go near the stairs. The dog barks and barks in fear. He's scared off all the birds. He's cleared me out of rats. Long scrolls and scratches, telling secret information, archaic engravings and marks on the wall. This next one is from the same record, Lindus, and it's called We're Complex Piss. We're complex piss, running down our legs and into open drains, filling up baths and buckets, spreading hepatitis if you swallow us, running cold white ships across it. The captain has told his crew the ship's going down. The tears in their eyes show they understand that they're all going to drown in complex seas off land. A widowed wife back home kneels at the side of her husband's stone and with broken voice cries, "Your children are all asking, where is the dad tonight?" His smile threw a light on a bedroom's corner, and at night a ghost detector. She wipes a tear from her face into the grooves of his name and steps away. Her clothes smell of it. It's in the woman's eyes. It's in the bottom of those bottles he always drank from to turn his mind down. My mind's down in silence. My head he is. My head he is. His head he wrong stood. His wrong stalled on a ship for a season deep a heading dawn. The season was in great progress, and in mid-circle reveals head he knew, and with great pity its complex piss at sea. So continuing this nautical theme, we jump back one record to Lighthouse, and this is something from that record.
It's my favourite.
Oh, you'll like this one. I am a lighthouse. I saw a lighthouse in the night, pushing beams of light at me. I turned away and to forget. I saw a lighthouse once in a while, on and off like night and dawn, then day, growing taller like an infant, and then full grown like a man. I took a walk where colour does not grow, and I pictured myself living there. I got depressed and amazed together when I thought how quickly time goes. It falls like rain or hay. I pulled out grass and flowers. They resisted, but I'm so much stronger. I will march on and on. I stayed inside my home and stroked rough minutes into smooth hours. I am a lighthouse beam, shining people in the pavement hob. Remember when inside to forget outside, stroping the air with smooth swings. I stopped dropping my guard and I stroked my line of defense like an unnamed entity resists catalogues and streams of lists. A lighthouse, that's me. A lighthouse that's easy to be with. On and on. That's for you, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Right. So there's a few more and then we'll have a little break and then I'll read something from the book. But these are also in the book, but these are the little poems and funny little things. Char parts. The black swan's charred carcass, the killing of a wren to eat its meat, highly prized for its charcoal heart, pulled from the fire and swallowed. Flies and mouses leave the body untouched, untarnished, untampered, unknown, while you left with your drowning starling stuffed in a plastic bag under your arm. You boarded a ship that you hoped would take you to safety, but instead brought you right back to the shore and your waiting car that was crying in the parking lot, having missed you terribly. Pluralism. The pluralism of the main offender. Kept from his mother, kept captive from his father, hidden away from his mother's brother, his sister, the uncle over the mountains, and the aunt down the river. Kept captive from his satanical witch, kept captive from the mysterious young elf that frequently appeared in his garden, kept his spices clean, kept the identity of his sister hidden for fear that her medical records would one day go missing. Pluralism of the master species, the impregnation of the female from our master species, and an intercontinental drift away from our earthly species. This one, the epiglytomy, is sort of supposed to be read in 3 gulps, but I don't know if I can do that tonight. the epiglyptomy. You know what I think the best thing you can do with the human race is open it out a bit and let it breathe, and then you've got yourself a new version of an old reality. And here's another thing. It ain't good to go messing around with the human race, even if you think you're acting in good faith and everything, because you is doing more harm than good, even if you don't know it. So, do you think it is possible for both of us to now start living again in the epiglyptomy? I'm imagining us both hovering over humanity in the silent air, laying low in the epiglyptomy, forever drawing on each other's resources and making a secure space where healing can begin to occur. And then you could look down on the people and be able to recognize aspects of them in yourself to the good of all. And I'm serious, so... do you think it is possible for both of us to now start seeing value in our remaining time and utilize the strength that can be drawn from the beauty and violence inherent in the act of creation, where seas and mountains are torn into shape and the epiglyptomy hangs in a silent arc of judgment that sees all and understands all and is capable of great love and forgiveness, whether it's in the mood to or not? Who is coming? What silly old sod cometh? Your brain is the size of your bleeding car. Why? You want to go put petrol in that car and so you can take me out dancing? I cannot wait to unsellotape you. Who? Wanna. So I tiptoe round the Indian Ocean, looking for sharks and sharp stones. Your face brain is melting as your skin wraps around the sun. Hana. Very sweet. So what I thought we'd do, we'd have a little 5 minutes and I'll play you something off of the phone. I have a little break and then I'll read a few excerpts from the short story Second Nature, and then we can all have a beer and go home. Oh, well, this is nice.
know the song.
Your factories and offices, kiss them all goodbye. Faith in the dream maker in the sky. There's glory in believing him, and he's all in the beholder's eyes. Come on, you hopers, you jokers and rogues, we're on the road to nowhere, let's find out where it goes. It might be a ladder to the stars, who knows? Oh, you jokers and rogues, down your engines and slow down your wheels. Suddenly your masterland loses the field. Everybody knows that this reality's not real. So raise a glass to all things past and celebrate how good it feels. Come on, you hopers, you jokers and rogues, we're on the road to nowhere, let's find out where it goes. It might be a ladder to the stars, who knows? Come on, you hopers, you jokers and rogues, awash on the sea of our own vanity. We should rejoice in our individuality. The winds can force and steer a course for sanity. Come on, you hopers, you jokers and rogues, we're on the road to nowhere, let's find out where it goes. It might be a ladder to the stars, who knows? Come on, you hopers, you jokers and rogues. Come on, you hopers, you jokers and rogues.
Very nice.
So for the next 10 minutes or something, I'll read some excerpts from this story, Second Nature, and I'll put you in a kind of frame of mind about what this is about. So it's about this character who kind of has multiple personalities and identities, who's living in a forest and is working with not very much. So these are his words. It's all been gridlocks and snares this morning, and nothing's been going right. Making a trap to catch something to eat should be simple enough, but there's been nothing out here to eat all morning, yet alone catch. I haven't seen a rabbit or a bird or a fish all morning. So it's another breakfast of berries then. But as we all know, berries can only go so far, and there are only so many of them. I cannot catch a fish because there are no fish, so there's no point wasting time, energy and resources constructing a net. I can't roast a gorgeous bird because I can't find any birds to kill, never mind roast, so birds ain't the answer either. Better then that I set my sights on something a bit more realistic, maybe a toad. Maybe I'll try to snare a toad and eat that. But if I managed to catch a toad, how would I kill it? I can't smash it with a stone, because that would destroy the small amount of meat on the body. I can't drown it, because that would take far too long. Maybe I could stab it in one of its vital organs with a pine needle. But I'm no doctor of anatomy and I'm unsure whereabouts to make my incision. Maybe the answer would be to think smart and use the toad to catch something better. Perhaps I could smash the toad to pieces with a stone after all and leave its broken body on a rock. Imagine an eagle showing interest. Or a bear. Imagine killing a whole bear. I'd have meat for months. I curse the fucking worms of the apple tree and the maggots what made a meal of my leftovers. You, sirs, are not welcome at my table, nor to shave the skin from my apple. Slugs are another one. I hate when they leave their silvery trails on the pathways up to the sun. They don't know it, but this is the self-same sun that burns them and toasts their little gelatinous bodies. What good is a week spent dabbing lemon juice on my wounds if I ain't got something to eat at the end of it? I heard that there were once ogres in this forest that ate deer. I wonder if I found out where the ogres lived, I'd be able to snatch away a bit of old meat. A deer sounds so good right about now. Or maybe an elk. If only I could slaughter an elk and drape its body across a tree stump, sprinkle it with lemon juice and let those wonderful sharp acids do their work. That would likely corrode the mind of the elk itself, as well as any bacteria laying on the surface of its skin, enabling the elk to add itself to my list of edibles. Those giant elk were so riddled with worms and depression that they did not last long in the forest anyway. No more elk, no more bear, no more beetle, no more fear of the grey cloud. I pulled a pear off of a tree and bit into it. Its flesh was excellent, and I closed my eyes and I imagined a great city in flames. I saw tremendous panic and chaos and people screaming and flailing, and I heard the awful sound of children and rabbits melting together in the heat of distress. I saw wolves at the throats of calves and barrels of red apples with their cruel blisters showing, and I saw metal cooling as all metal eventually must. There was a war inside this pear, and a violence what stoked desire for war within mankind, and my bite had simply unlocked it. Once I chased away a bobcat that was toying with an adder. I heard all this commotion and I raced out with a rusty old spade over my head, yelling at the bobcat to leave the snake alone and to get off my land. That damn cat just glanced up at me and he took off like a rocket. I'd been a fast runner as a child, but nothing compared to this. Thinking about running was not all that different from thinking about moving through water, something I doubt any bobcat could manage. But I had done it, once to save my life, and once to save another's. On the first occasion I was being chased by a mother bear, and I had run at top speed in an effort to outpace her, but the mother bear kept gaining on me and I eventually lost my breath. I went down on all fours, but some snakes bit my fingers thinking they were other snakes, and the agony of their bites paralysed me. But I gave it one last hurrah, as they say, and I tried to carry on. My instincts told me that if I was serious about wanting to survive, I needed to get myself back down to the river. So, duly done, I launched myself into the water just as the bear's hot breath was toasting the soles of my feet. The impact of my body hitting the surface of the water startled the bear, and its moment of triumph over me was broken. The second time was when I was up to my waist in water, and I saw an eel swimming past me. The little fella paused and then turned back round, and he swam straight towards my hand. It reached my palm, stopped, and then curled itself into a knot and fell into a deep sleep. The poor thing must have been exhausted and at the point of death. I looked down at the eel and I began sobbing, saying things like, "Oh Lord, please, dear God, no." Delivered in a voice that was so pregnant with emotion it could easily have passed for theatre. But I had real feelings for that eel, and my pleas of distress were genuine and heartfelt. I wondered what the eel was dreaming about as it slept in my hand, and I wondered whether it was healing or in pain. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.